Ship names are portmanteaus, it's true.
The couple that streams together dreams together, Jordan.
Stream bros, stream bros, stream bros, stream bros, stream bros. Quick little information check for folks in the room. Just get to steal a little thunder from Dawnguard in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dawnguard always goes to this whole thing at the end of the shift for their favorite pieces of media for the year. I'm not going to drop that on people unannounced because that's a lot of brain power to think of. But what have been some of your favorite video game music pieces? The challenge says just in general, but if you have one for this year that comes with a game recommendation, please throw it out.
Okay.
And I will give everyone time to think by dropping the entirety of the Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal soundtrack, but Behind the Mask in particular is a song that can just be played on repeat in background of my entire life.
So I really like what they did with the music in the final zone of Endwalker, FF14.
Is this the automaton version?
I don't think we have that yet.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
But it's a beautiful track. I actually prefer its original version. It kind of, I mean, without spoiling too much of the plot of Endwalker, the background music for this entire zone evolves as you progress through the story, and it starts out like a very distorted, vaporwavy kind of mood, and then it gradually clears up as you hit story milestones.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, and it provokes emotions in people.
Emotions, I love
My emotions.
Yeah, it just, I mean, they did such a good job with it.
I got the other day because my favorite coffee shop locally, I went in and was getting coffee as I often do, and the music was really good, and I was like, this is really good. Like, what are y'all playing today? Because we chat about music from time to time, and the accepted dynamic is, of course, that like I'm the weird nerd. And they're like normal, sane people. And I was like, oh, what is this? It's really good. And they're like, oh, it's Persona 5, dude. What's wrong with you? I was like, oh, sorry.
Banger after banger after banger after banger.
Yep.
This is not from this year, but y'all know me in Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
And weirdly, I've never been a huge fan of the Final Fantasy VII orchestral mixes.
Yeah.
Because I honestly I really love the original PlayStation bleep bloops.
Yeah. They're really good.
That said, the Final Fantasy remake cover of specifically Underneath the Rotting Pizza, the Sector 5 music, is so good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love it so much.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
The like bono ding dong dong dong. Yeah. So
I have
I
a
picked two.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. One is genuinely my favorite, and the other one is a plug for a game that I don't have any connection to. I just think more people should play it.
All right.
Excellent.
First one, Okami.
Oh yeah.
You saw my dolls.
Yeah.
I love the music in Okami. The second one that more people should play and has a rad soundtrack. Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Game's rad.
The box in chat says, I've often said the FF7 remake is better than I expected and better than it has any right to be, which is to say, it's actually really good.
Yeah, that's I agree wholeheartedly with that. I was very down on it before it came out.
I didn't know what to expect. I really enjoyed it. I was impressed by a lot of different things, and I have some big thoughts about the last 90 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You and a lot of other people on the internet.
I can't wait to see where they're going with the next part.
Specifically, I have big thoughts on the checkpoints in the last 90 minutes.
I don't
For a game
like it.
for a game that came out this year,
Yeah.
it's nominated and definitely not going to win. DNF Duel came out this year, which is a really, really fun fighting game that nobody plays anymore for whatever reason. But this song, the music is just like really, really fun for like pretty much every stage in it. Yeah, big recommend to DNF Duel if you've listened to the Guilty Gear soundtrack and you're like, I like this for fighting games. DNF Duel is also really good, and it's funky.
Yeah.
So funky. Matt, I know you had one as
So
well.
I have a few. I have a few pieces of video game music that are just like that I think are amazing.
I dig this, Ben.
None from this year, I don't think,
all
because
good.
I've played like nothing this year. But the big ones for me, my Final Fantasy piece of choice is "You Are Not Alone" from Final Fantasy IX, which is so good.
Yeah.
I honestly really love for Mario music. The theme song to Super Mario Brothers 2 is like the best
Yeah.
piece of Mario music they've ever done. And there's like an OC remix version of it, the Buck Jazz remix that is like
Oh yeah, I remember that.
so good.
Jordan, I find myself singing that to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my empty apartment.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I
The-
don't notice myself starting, and I have trouble stopping.
Mario 2 theme is like a brain idle animation song for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the time. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
Just
Yep, 100%.
Where do you think it came from,
Yeah.
Graham?
No. For years we've
Yeah.
been doing.
No, I know, like,
Yeah. Oh,
it's
you
your
got
fault.
it from us. Yeah.
Listening here that got it in me. And you had one more, I think, going, right, Matt? Or was that it?
I'm pretty sure I did have one, but it's escaped my brain, so it doesn't matter. Those two are the like the really big ones for me.
I like Cameron has joked repeatedly that for his funeral, he's like, put my casket on wheels at the top of a hill, start playing the Mario 2 theme, and just push.
Everyone's saying Final Fantasy music now immediately been like, oh, right, can't forget Berseid Island.
Can we put the speaker on top of the casket so it Doppler shifts?
Yes. Absolutely yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
That's what he would have wanted.
It's also not this year. Like I'm a big fan of a lot of the old like JRPG soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the classics, but like more recently, the music in Hades is very good. Basically anything that Supergiant puts out has amazing music. God, Outer Wilds. I know I keep coming back to that game, but every time I hear like that main menu theme, I just like goosebumps. It's
Yeah,
so
well, the
good.
music is so integral to that
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it's perfect. And it's way better than like the music in Genshin is way better than it has any right to be, but it does feel like it borrows from a lot of places. But there are definitely like some pieces in there where I'm like, this is significantly better than I would be expecting for a like, you know, free-to-play gacha game.
Yeah.
TQ just DM DB stage. Hey, no, I'm Shift, but you should listen to Metal Hellsinger soundtrack. Highly recommend.
I'm literally playing it in the background.
I remembered what my other one was, which is the soundtrack, specifically the soundtrack album for No Man's Sky, which is Music for an Infinite Universe by 65 Days of Static.
Yeah.
Ugh. The first like album portion of it is like all the pieces that they put together, and then the second part of the album is just soundscapes generated from the music that they did. It's so good.
I've got a couple too.
Yes, please.
Both of these are a little bit on the older side.
Yeah.
One of them significantly more so than the other. The more recent one is just Shapes and Beats.
Okay. Yeah.
Wall to wall
Pirate
bangers.
EDM.
Yeah. Ben just perked
Yes,
up.
particularly that one.
Which is the highest viewed video on our streams replay channel for some reason.
Really?
It's me freaking out about Pirate EDM, man.
Amazing.
That's how I got a bunch of my friends to watch it. So I mean,
Yeah.
I actually know that the reason that it is the highest is because the Just Shapes and Beats people were showing it off to people.
Oh!
Yeah, like they when I went and saw them subsequently at a PAX, they were like, "Oh, you're Ben from Loading Ready Run. We loved your guys' playthrough of the game."
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Nice.
so they were like aware of it.
That's
which was
awesome.
neat.
Nice.
And how far back are we going for number 2?
Yeah. What's your other one?
I don't remember the year, but it's Mirror's Edge.
Oh yes!
Yes.
Banger
Like Solar
soundtrack.
Fields is my favorite artist of all time.
Banger soundtrack.
Such a
Both
Yeah.
of those soundtracks were fabulous.
I need to replay that.
Yeah.
I replayed it not long ago.
Oh.
The first one still holds up remarkably well.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
I was able to get through it on a second playthrough non-lethally, which was like my
That's awesome.
which
That's
was
good.
my goal, because my major criticism of that game was like it doesn't make it easy to get through non-lethally.
Yeah.
And it never
So
feels like
cool.
there's a way to exit, but good, still a good game.
It
So
made me feel cool.
It's non-lethally, just not using guns.
Yes.
Okay, because I've done that, and I wasn't sure if that was also if there were actual like lethal melees or whatever.
Speaking of like soundtracks as a whole,
Yeah.
rather than just individual songs, I know that PS5s are still challenging to get for a
Yes.
variety of reasons.
Unless you're Seto Kaiba.
But I am confident that the menu tones and sounds that play, and I think this was even true, frankly, of the PS4, but I'm confident even more so of the PS5, just from what's going on there, that the soundtrack to the Eidos Montreal Deus Ex games has a lot to answer for.
Okay.
Those soundtracks rule, and using a PlayStation 5 sounds exactly like the menu system in Deus Ex.
I'm gonna have to listen to that to compare.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
Max, did you have
Returnal.
something? I saw about hand move.
Yeah. Video game soundtrack stuff is a little weird for me because I do get asked to play music soundtrack stuff a lot on my stream, and I tend not to because I'm a fiddle player, and a lot of that stuff does not translate well to solo fiddle. But I do want to shout out Sea of Thieves
Oh, yes.
Ooh, yeah.
for having just
Yeah.
just really good shanties in them. There's a very hard to get version of Drunken Sailor on there that's phenomenal. You have to be a pirate legend to get it, but also their in-game music playing system to be
Yeah,
able to play
it's-
with other people is
it's fun.
super cool.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of it.
And if somebody stops, like somebody else can pick up the melody. Like
Yeah.
It's so slick. Like I'm just in such awe of it.
It's amazing. I see my silver medal goes to FF14's Bard Performance Mode.
Just whatever the bards are making.
There's an in-game MIDI keyboard, and
There's been some interesting creations out of Final Fantasy 14,
Nice.
that's for dang sure.
my first act when I hit 30 and got my Bard Jobstone was to find an abandoned alleyway at Nilda and nude out "O Canada" on the trombone.
That's the original trombone champ.
The best part was a player found me, stood at attention, hit the salute emote, and stayed there until I'd finished. And it took a long
Incredible.
time,
Yeah.
so it wasn't very good.
Well, thanks everyone for sharing some hot video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
In your area.
You have lots of recommendations. You can pretty much extrapolate that if someone gave just one song, the OST is probably your jam.
Yep.
Yep.
Because from all the ones I recognized, all the individual songs were very representative of the OSTs.
Oh, someone said Makar's song from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and oh, yes.